Portland General Electric, P.G.E., not to be confused with Pacific Gas and Electric, a Northern California company, is the largest utility in Oregon, serving over 1.5 million customers in 52 cities over a 4,000 square mile area. The operation dates back to 1888, when two local entrepreneurs built a hydroelectric generator at Willamette Falls near Oregon City. Eventually, the company became Portland Electric Power in 1932 and P.G.E. in 1948. The infamous Texas-based Enron Corporation purchased P.G.E. in July of 1997. P.G.E. management has claimed that the company was not involved in the subsequent scandals that eventually led to the largest bankruptcy in U.S. history. Indeed, many P.G.E. employees suffered when Enron, attempting to cover up its machinations and market manipulations, froze their 401k retirement plans. As the scheme fell apart and Enron stock plunged, these employees lost nearly everything. Several attempts have been made by Oregon citizens to convert P.G.E. into a publicly owned utility. The only time this succeeded was in 1999, when residents of three small towns northwest of Portland voted to join the West Oregon Public Utility District. Electricity rates dropped immediately, to this day. Customers of what is now the Columbia River PUD enjoy significantly lower rates than those of P.G.E. The city of Portland attempted to purchase P.G.E. through the sale of bonds in 2005, but refused to pay a $50 million deposit on the sale. Oregon Governor Ted Kolongoski eventually vetoed a bill that would have created a public corporation for the purchase. P.G.E. today remains a for-profit corporation, but is now independent and locally owned and operated. Asbestos in power plants. Because of the fire risk, power plants have long used asbestos as insulation for boilers, generators, and turbines. In addition, the miles of piping and conduits that exist in gas or coal-fired and hydroelectric plants were sprayed with asbestos-containing material, or ACM. This was often in the form of ACM cement that was marketed by the W.R. Grace Company of Libby, Montana, known as Monocoat. Moving parts were liable to release asbestos fibers into the air, particularly as this insulation aged and became brittle. At this stage, asbestos is called friable, as it begins to crumble and flake into dust. Most power plants across the U.S. have engaged in asbestos abatement and containment programs for the past several years. Encapsulation is the usual method, which is also being used on seagoing vessels. It involves covering surfaces of mechanical equipment with resin and a catalyst, similar to epoxy. This resin eventually hardens to the consistency of glass. The U.S. government has had safety standards for asbestos workers in place since 1943. However, these were not seriously enforced until the late 1970s. Those who were employed in a power generation plant prior to that time should have regular checkups if they have not yet experienced symptoms. Those who have symptoms should make sure that they are diagnosed by a qualified oncologist. Afterwards, it is important to gather as much information as possible about the site at which they were exposed. Thank you for watching. This video was produced by Asbestos.Net, a leading resource on all aspects of asbestos and mesothelioma. Our priority is to inform victims about the devastating effects of asbestos exposure, mesothelioma, asbestos cancer, asbestosis, and other asbestos-related diseases, and to advise them with a wealth of information. Individuals whose lives have been touched by mesothelioma have numerous questions and concerns. Their caregivers and family members also need accurate, reliable information. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with mesothelioma or asbestos cancer and need more information, we invite you to visit and explore the thousands of pages of oncologist-reviewed material on Asbestos.Net, to call our convenient toll-free number shown below and speak with a mesothelioma specialist, or to use the simple contact form found at Asbestos.Net to request a free copy of our informative books, custom inserts, and DVD. Asbestos.Net. Information and help for patients and families.